Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, dry creek bed mini golf. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
How's your week?
It was very long.
Oh no!
Right. Well, this week it's like the end of the first quarter, right? And so we traditionally do like a field trip type event for like celebrating the positive behaviors of students and whatnot.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody decided we should do that trip on Wednesday. And so it really kind of messed up the whole flow of the week. And it really, like, it made Thursday and Friday kind of terrible. Even the kids were like, unprompted. I want you to know this was unprompted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did not feed them this information. I did not prime them in any way. Some of the kids were like, yeah, we should probably do that on Friday because I'm tired today. I was like, same, buddy. Same.
Oh, no.
It made Thursday and Friday kind of rough, right? Like, it just threw off the whole momentum of everything. So yeah, that's all right. But that does bring me to a topic I want to discuss with you.
Oh,
right. So we took the children, and there's apparently like we took them mini golfing.
Mini golfing.
Right? Yes.
Oh.
There's apparently a new-ish mini golf location nearby. Never been, didn't know really where it was. We went down there and I saw some pictures of it and we got there and I went, oh, okay. So I want to talk about, what do you need to have a good mini golf course, right? Because I would say this mini golf course is like there. It's like fine. But when I think about mini golf, this is not what I picture in my mind. Right. It's very bland. It's very haphazard. It's very meh. And so I want to ask your opinion on things that make a good mini golf course, right? What do you need to be successul? For any other aspiring miniature golf course owners out there,
Yeah,
right? What would the official Oh Brother mini golf course look like?
Okay, well, I do have to say,
not saying that is potentially happening, but I'm saying
it's fine. So ranking top 5 mini golf features. I'm trying to see. So we actually,
I mean, that we could put this into a list if we need to, because that's patented, right? But
yes, this is actually very interesting because I had not played so we had just played mini golf, but it was in like a mini golf thing in the mall. I don't know if you the Battlefield Mall there in Springfield.
There's one in the mall now.
Yes, but it's a.
Well, do you remember the indoor mini golf in Branson that we used to go to sometimes?
Oh yes,
it's like nice. It was like cool. That was like in the. Oh, okay, that one's like cool because it's like dark and stuff, but like course wise, it's not very exciting.
Yeah,
right?
This one's very boring course wise. They did try to do like the black light and neon stuff in this one as well. But it's also in the mall, so it's still kind of like well lit. So that perspective, very, very boring. I mean, one of my things that I love, and prior to that, it had been like 3 years since we had played mini golf. And
I haven't played mini golf in ages.
We had played mini golf.
Okay, before we continue, if I don't make this known, I will be mocked mercilessly by my wife. So I just need to make sure. I don't think I haven't played mini golf in probably 10 years, right?
Okay.
And the last time I did play, Susan beat me real bad. So I just need to make sure everyone knows. I'm going to publicly acknowledge this fact.
Okay. That this is okay. This is not coming from mini golf experts. I think it's important to know that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I used to mini golf a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I used to mini golf a lot. Right. Frequently. My friends and I would, because it used to be like a very relatively inexpensive thing to do in certain places. So when I was younger, like in high school and like even in college a little bit, my friends and I would go mini golfing just all the time. Right. I would take my own putter mini golfing. All right. I need to miss.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you do.
One of those guys, I see.
I just thought it was, well, listen, if you're going to go, you might as well use a putter that you know, and it's funnier when you rock up with your own putter to mini golf, right? It's just
okay. Makes sense. Well, I've never been one of those people, so I can't tell you at all. I've never been one of those. Bring your own to this.
Try it. It's pretty fun.
I will say that my prior to this, we had played an outdoor mini golf in like northern Arkansas, where we went with some friends for a weekend. It was interesting. But as far as and I would just play here and there. It was never a big thing. It's very sparse. But I will say that one of my favorite aspects of mini golf, I love it whenever you have to putt like over a little tiny bridge to get across.
Like the precision putt.
Yes, okay, like the precision,
like the bridge. Yeah,
bridge. I like. Is that what we're talking about here? Like, I love.
Yeah.
That
like
makes
interesting
it nice.
Because mini golf is all about like interesting features, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's always interesting. Like, for example, I like the thing like Funacre used to have the thing where you had to putt on the strip between the water troughs, right? So it's kind of like the mini bridge thing, but like there's like little random water troughs in the thing. I think that's fun. It's just like unique, interesting.
Yes.
Right? So yeah.
I like that. What about you? What's one you like?
So again, I think so outside of water feature, I think you definitely have to have like interesting undulation, right? You have to have hills, right? It has to be like hilly and like wacky hills, not like super like out of control, not like Sonic the Hedgehog or anything, right? But like you just like there needs to be variety in the undulation. Like some needs to have like gentle slopes and other ones need to have like much more like larger slopes, and then even the one where there's like the 3 hump thing, and sometimes there's like a hole in the middle of one of those that takes the shortcut somewhere, right? Those are like interesting things. So I like undulation in my mini golf, right? I like to have, because you have to like judge how hard you're going to hit it up this little slope, or like I got to go up this hill, but it's going to go down the other side, like that kind of thing. I like that.
Oh, I hate the ones. Okay, hate's a strong word. We don't hate anything, but I don't like where you have to hit up the hill. It dips down to where the hole actually is, and then dips back, and it goes up and then over and then down. Have you like it kind of does that double hump thing? Yeah. Those are terrible.
No, but I like the double hump. So I like the double hump thing specific only if there's a shortcut hole.
Oh,
right? Not the final hole. Because that's lame, right? You hit it because then it's hard to hit it in the middle, and it's too obnoxious. But I do so like sometimes they do the thing where there's 2 humps, and if you hit it over the second hump, it just goes like around a bigger corner to get to where the hole is. But if you can get it in between the humps, there's like the hole that then will like shoot it out towards the bottom platform. It's like the shortcut hole, right?
That makes sense.
I like those. That's fun, right? Separate note: shortcut holes are exciting in mini golf.
Oh, okay. So we like the short. Yeah. Okay. I understand.
Yeah. Well, what you? What's something else you like?
I like having to putt around various objects. Like when like that's probably a big one for me. Like, I don't know. I'm sure Windmill's on this somewhere, but like having to like when you're when the mini golf ball can go, not that the golf ball itself mini, but like the ball for the mini. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, when it like comes out the trunk of an elephant or like through the mouth of an alligator, that's just fun. Like that's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, like architectural feature things.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Specifically
like
animals. Those are just fun.
Like dinosaurs. That's a classic mini golf one. Right. Like dinosaurs or like things like that. Yeah. That's good. I like that too. It's more interesting. Right. I also like movement, like movable things like said windmill. Right.
Yes.
When there's like something moving in the way. Right. Like the one where there's, or the one where it's like, there's always something that like is going up and down in front of it. You know, there's variations on this theme, but like there's just something rising and falling in front, or the windmill thing, right? Like the timing aspect to make it like different. Now you don't, to like you have to put between the thing, right? And time it just right. I like that.
This other feature you mentioned, movement. I have seen some mini golf courses that have something that like mechanically transports your ball further than like you would have put. Like I've seen we've played a couple that have like little conveyor belts where you hit the ball and it like moves your ball up and over, and it kind of does like a little maze thing on its own. I don't know. That's kind of a visually very appealing thing.
It's fun too, right?
Yeah,
it's fun.
So right? I like conveyor belts.
Well, that's cool. I thought about that. I've never seen one of those before.
Yeah, it's very visually appealing because you're like, anyway, whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting. I also like when that you have to like bounce the ball off a thing.
Oh, right? Like ricochet around a corner.
The ricochet is important, right? You have the like angled piece, right? And you need to like bounce the ball off to like ricochet somewhere where the bouncing becomes like really important to the whole, right? Or it's like, again, I like bouncing off of things, right? You having to ricochet the ball and like bounce it in a certain way. That's also kind of fun because it makes it's more interesting, right? Because you have to be like, oh, I could, and it goes over there. Yeah. Kind of planning the shot out like that.
This is probably related to the secret holes one.
And in that similar vein, I think also like like I said kind of earlier, piggybacking on what I said earlier, the holes that have like more than one way to get to the end. I think that's fun.
This may have already been covered in the secret pathway thing.
Yeah.
But I really like when a course is multi-level. Where you like, oh look, I just put the hole down, or win the hole, and then it like, boom, and drops down. And it's like, oh, it's so far away. Oh my gosh,
that's true.
Anyway,
well, and it's really satisfying if you like, because sometimes they have the thing where if you hit it just the right speed, it can like keep going down, right? It'll like just get to the hole again, and then it'll drop through like a pipe and get somewhere else.
Yeah,
right. So that like the verticality is very satisfying, like when it goes like that, and you can hit it just right, and it goes down through the thing. Right. And I like that. I also like when there's like more than one way to get to the final hole. I think kind of mentioned that earlier, right? Like if you can either bounce around something, or maybe there's like a tunnel, but it's like really hard. Like you have to be like really exact to hit it in that little pipe. But then another way like goes around the outside. Like I like that, where it's like challenging because you got to choose which direction you're going to hit the ball.
Yes. Yeah, because it then kind of becomes a kind of not necessarily a choose your own adventure, but you have multiple options.
Yeah, you can like go for the hard, like it's going to be like more challenging, but maybe like it goes like directly to the hole, whereas the other way is like more straightforward, but it's going to take a longer time to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like that.
Yes.
Also, we haven't talked about theming, right? Do you care about theming, or do you just like there to be like interesting things?
Oh, right? I like
visually interesting looking.
Yes. I like it when it's very, I'm going to say chaotic. I like an eclectic, like a really eclectic mini golf course for sure.
Okay, yeah. All right. I do appreciate the ones that are themed, right? Like there's like some of the ones in Branson, it's like adventure-y, right? Or there used to be ones like piratey or whatever, right? And so it was like the whole thing kind of had the same vibe. But I kind of like the mini golf courses that are just like, they're just like random stuff all over the place.
Yes. Agree.
Right?
Where it's just
Okay.
because you never know, because then you're like, what is around this bend? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is some weird thing. Like, that's definitely a dinosaur. That's a giant, like, harbor bridge. Like, what's happening? Like, it's
exactly.
But I can't appreciate like a really solid themed one. Like, it was done good. Like, if it's like consistent and it's carried through, I do appreciate a theme, but I don't think it's necessary. Right?
No, certainly not.
All right. These are pretty good. Right? I bring all this up and I wanted to talk about this. It's really important to say that the mini golf course where we went to had none of these things in them at all.
I was wondering what we were building to there.
We're building the Disappointmentville is where we're building, right?
Oh my gosh.
It was not great, right? And I think the kids got really kind of bored because it lacked all of these things that we were talking about.
Oh
right?
no.
Like all the holes were kind of the same. It was landscaped with just like creek gravel. So the whole thing is like brown. Kind of. Right? It's also kind of like homemade a little bit, right? Like just the way that they built some of the things, I was like, this is a choice that you made. I don't agree with it at all, but you did make this choice.
Yeah, that makes it hard. Because sometimes the golf courses, I will say, they always, it's like initially you could go, oh, well, this would be easy to put together, right? Like I think like they're deceptively, oh, I'll just do this only smaller or whatever, and it can be cheaper, it can be whatever, but it really does take good design work.
The design work is really important, right? Because even the indoor mini golf in Branson, right? Like the thing it had going for it is it had like the vibe of being indoors, which was good in Branson in the summer when it's like 1 billion degrees outside. But it was also like none of the holes were overly complicated, but they were also short. Right?
Oh.
So it was just kind of like bang, 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 do the thing, and then you're done. And so it wasn't like it didn't take an overly long time. It was kind of short and enjoyable for what it was, and then you were out. Right?
Yes.
So even though the courses weren't like, there wasn't a lot of height variation or like any of that kind of stuff because they were indoors and they, I don't know what they're renting the space or whatever, but like there wasn't a whole lot of that, but it was interesting enough. And all of the holes were like kind of short and you could just go through them and move. Right. When you're outside in a big space and then there's like nothing visually distinct about any of the holes. So first of all, telling what hole you're on is like impossible because they all look the same.
Yeah.
And then some of them, like, there's not variation between the holes. It's just like, oh, this one curves long and to the right. This one curves long and to the left.
The other left. Yeah.
Like, I think this course may have been designed by a person who's only ever played real golf. Who's never actually played mini golf before. Right?
Yes.
It may have been what happened. But like, so it was okay. But I feel kind of bad because some of these kids have never mini golfed before. And this was their introduction to mini golf. And they may never go back because it was
oh no, it's been ruined. Mini golf has been ruined for them.
Yes, it's sad, right? I know it's close by, it's nearby, it's like, but it's definitely kind of like homemade. Definitely just some local people are like, oh, we should make a mini golf course with like $10 and like Lowe's. Like the garden section.
Right.
Like some of the, like a lot of the sides for the hole or garden paver stones. They're like concrete pavers.
Just like that's kind of telling.
Yeah. Which is also difficult because it means there's gaps in them. Which means you can't bounce the ball. Right?
Yeah.
The ricochet option's gone. Oh no, one of my important things you need for mini golf course was not there. Eek. Terrible.
So how much time was spent playing, or did they make it through the whole course, hopefully? Or
we had to, right? So we had so many kids that we did like a stagger start thing. Like we put groups of kids on like all the different holes. And then like we didn't make everybody start at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then so we'd start everybody in a hole, and then we just all rotated through until you got back to the hole you started on. Right. And it was definitely telling that they were pretty into it at first. And about halfway through, they were all just kind of like, not all, right? But a lot of them were just kind of like, all right, how much longer are we going to be here? Like, I think part of that is like they didn't know what they're doing or whatever. But I think another part of that is that there was nothing like visually interesting happening on the course, right? And there wasn't like a whole lot of different challenges for the golf course, right? It's like every hole was fundamentally the same as the last one, right? There wasn't one hole with like crazy undulation and then a windmill and then like a water thing and then like a multi-level drop thing. Like that was not really happening. It was like all of the holes were pretty much the same.
I gotcha.
They tried. There was a couple differences here and there, but like not really.
Not really.
You know, not really.
Oh.
And so I think kind of towards the end, a lot of them were just like, no. Like they were like, are we done? How much longer are we going to be here? And I feel bad because I think that's why, right? I think that's why they did that, right? Also, some of the holes were just not well designed. So they were like way harder than they should have been, right? Like they were just the way that they were designed, right? Like I understand the old like you putt the ball up and then sometimes it like rolls back really far, but like some of them were just not quite laid out well enough for that little gimmick to like be functional because the slope was such that it didn't really look slopey, right? It was also just kind of like the ground was uneven and they just built it right on the ground. So like it was very difficult to see how it worked.
Well, yeah, and when they become impossible to read, then yes, then that's frustrating for sure. Because then they're just not fun, right? Because then you're like, well, I don't understand this at all. What's the point of this?
Yeah, like I don't know what's happening. I'm whatever. Like I just quit. I give up. Right? Like I don't know. So yeah, it's kind of it was all right, but it was definitely not as exciting as I was hoping it was going to be. Because like when you hear mini golf, you think of like bright colors and like windmills or potentially a dinosaur. There's all these different elements happening. Brown gravel. It's really not the move, right? Like I don't. I left feeling unimpressed, right, and distressed by a lot of it, right? It's just not really what I was. It's not the image that when people say, "Oh, we're going mini golfing," it is exactly not that, right? Like that's
just think exactly all these wonderful things that you could possibly do, all of the variety that is out there, and the long storied history of how to put this together, and do none of it.
Yeah,
and then
do none of it. Yeah,
enjoy.
Yeah, just if you're gonna make a mini golf course, maybe you should go play some mini golf first somewhere.
So this sounds like it was described to somebody over the phone.
Maybe, yeah. Somebody literally went, "Oh, it's mini golf." Got it. wait, no, you forgot like the fantastical element where there should be like a rocket and like or like a giant tree in the middle of the thing. Or
that is
like,
actually a very good point in that conceptually you think, how hard could this be? Again, it's just small. It's just a smaller golf course. But you just hit that word, fantastical, of that's exactly what mini golf should be of. It's kind of zany, right? It's whimsical.
Yeah, there should be whimsy. Yeah, there should be whimsy.
Whimsy. Yes.
It was no whimsy.
There was no whimsy.
It kind of felt like you were playing mini golf in a dry creek bed. That's kind of what it was like. The theming was drought. Nailed it.
Oh no.
But the whimsical factor was like 0, right? Like, where's the unicorn, man? Where's the like just weird stuff? Like, I don't even. This is Southwest Missouri. I wouldn't even care if you were like, here's some like a wacky lawn chair thing happening, like, or like
that would fit perfectly.
Some random like, car thing like this, whatever. Like, I don't care. But like literally nothing. Like, oh, here's a rock. Here's another rock.
Now, guess what? Hold on. This one, this one's kind of brown. What?
Yeah.
What?
Right?
Are we crazy?
I want you to realize also, listeners, this is a geology teacher telling you that this mini golf course is boring because there was too many rocks on it. Right? I want you to think about that for a minute.
Really,
it's bad.
Latch onto that part.
Yeah,
that's not. That's
and some
not
of the
what you
rocks
want to
were.
hear.
It was not, and some of them were like actual, just like stones that you just like find, and they just put them on there. And some of them were obstacles on the course, and they were placed in. They were like, there was no treatment done to them. Right? There was nothing done to them in any way. So if you hit them with the golf ball would just like stick to the rock, and like there was no bouncing. There was no like. You should like actually like physically pull your ball out and stick it back on the course. Like,
that's terrible.
Yeah, just get stuck in there. Like, well, that's not cool. Like, what do you do? Like a well-designed mini golf course. Right? I understand there's accidents and freaky things happen, but by and large, the golf ball should never become stuck somewhere. Right? Like, and this weird things happen, and I've had strange things happen on golf course, but like, it should not be easy to get your ball lodged in a place where it cannot be played.
No, because that defeats the purpose of golfing, right? I guess maybe it doesn't. Because people are like, ooh, sand traps and whatever. But like, no.
Yeah, but in a sand trap, you can like hit the ball out again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in the water feature thing on golf courses, I like, you just like, that's different because you just like pick it up and put it over there. There's like one thing on the court.
Right? Well, yeah.
But like, hitting the ball and getting it like hitting the wall of the golf course and having the ball just like get wedged in there and not be able to play, like, what?
Yeah,
what the heck? Why would you do that?
Well,
so there you go.
Sorry,
that was my week.
Oh,
whimsicalist mini golfing. And,
oof.
Yeah. Again, it being in the middle of the week on Wednesday, it just really ruined everybody's vibe for the whole rest of the week.
No, right? That's a terrible place to have that. I would dissent next time. I would let them know.
Yeah. I'm like, can we do Friday? Is that possible? Like, I don't know. And I don't know if it was possible with like the course and whatever. Like, there's all that other stuff you got to think.
Oh, sure. Right? Yeah.
Like where they were going and if they were, I can't imagine there's just have a ton of business in the middle of a day on a Friday, but who knows? Definitely not me, but yeah, that was my exciting week. I just wanted your opinion on what makes a good mini golf course.
I like this. I like this very much. Yeah.
All right.
Well, now we have one mini golf course place here in town, but it closed down for the winter. As most mini golf places should, because it's kind of weird. But anyway, so
it's not like cold, so like I don't keep it open for a while. It's not like a pool, right?
No,
you'd be fine.
No, but it can be uncomfortable to be out. So I don't know. We should. We should probably try and go again. So
yeah, so I kind of want to go to a good one now. that I've been here. I didn't actually play this one because I was watching the kids and stuff, and like I didn't really want to play anyway.
Oh,
after I saw it, right?
yeah.
It didn't really inspire. Like,
no, you go on ahead. I'll be here.
Yeah, I'll do
catch up with you in a minute.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. Well, we are not mini golfing, but when was the last time you were in a combine?
Oh, that's not it's been quite a while. I've seen several combines recently, but I have not been in one.
Yes,
I was probably small. I can't.
I'm trying to remember.
A much smaller person at the time.
Well, I'm trying to remember up in, was it Iowa, where maybe it wasn't a combine, but we were at least riding in the grain truck. Was that something that we did?
That sounds right. Also potentially Illinois, because
it was Illinois.
He worked on a farm, so like that's also I mean, it could have been both places. We definitely rode tractors around in Iowa. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Because I was
uncles, right? But like,
I would have.
I think there was grain trucks in Illinois.
Illinois is what it was. Yes. No, I now concur with that assessment. So we have a friend who is Ann Farmer, and I said, Ann Farmer, do you ever let people come alongside you while you farm? Is that something you would do? And he was like, I mean, not really.
What about small boys who love machinery?
Yes. So I was like, what about very tiny humans who
not me. I don't want
obviously not me. I would just ruling myself right out unless of course that's okay. And then I would love to do this. But anyway, but he was like, yeah, it's fine. I won't want to do it in like the beginning of harvest because that's a bit stressful. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's fine. But like, don't forget about us, please. He's got 1,500 acres of corn. It's not going anywhere fast, right? Like,
that's true.
Whatever. So anyway, so we are very excited about this tomorrow, going to ride in a combine, an actual harvesting combine. I can't tell you. I'm very excited about
dusty.
This. To be super dusty. It's also north of where we are by like another half hour, and they're even drier than we are here.
No.
And so it's going to be real bad. I basically was sitting in the car on recirc, trying not to die while my children are gallivanting about in a combine around a giant field.
Yeah, we were driving back home on Saturday, and then a couple of days this week. Like one day, but Saturday was a big day. We were driving down the road, and it was like we're driving. All of a sudden, it was like all this haze, and I was like, "You're a fire? What is happening?" And as we got closer to the town that we were driving through, it was like, "Oh no, that's a combine." All right, got it.
Yeah,
it was it was harvesting wheat, right? It was a grain or whatever. So it wasn't corn; it was like wheat. There was so much dust. Like, oh my goodness, it was so bad.
I'm already sneezing. My body is already sneezing. Thinking about this. This is gonna be great.
A physiological response to thinking about corn dust.
Just thinking about corn dust. But no, we've so kids are very excited about doing this. It's also like I forget something about the equipment where it's kind of also been breaking down a little bit. So we might not get to this, but this has been the talk of our place at least for quite a long time. But it really started when we were talking about doing some repairs. So on our we have a Honda. It's a 2005 Honda Accord, and
we've given up on selling the Honda. Is this not going well? Is this what's happening?
So at this point, I'm like, I've had to drive so much at this point.
That's true. Yeah.
It's actually very beneficial to have 3 cars because when we're just going insane. So it was a couple months ago. Excuse me. when we just started to get like, it was about a month or two ago, where it just kind of was getting to do those mornings where you're like, it's kind of cool today, right?
So like a week ago, like maybe I feel
we had mornings where it was kind of cool, like it's fine. But like
not really.
I remember
we did it down here.
Sorry,
it's been the last like 2 weeks.
Fair. But like, I would go, and it has a dual climate control, and I took my driver's side and I went, I just want a little bit more heat. And I don't know how you are on this. I don't know how you control your AC. It's for your AC, your choice. So I like to push the auto button. If there's an auto button in a car, I like to push auto. I set the temperature, and then I let the car sort it out. I'm just like, you do the work for me. Do you have opinions on this?
Yeah, I mean, like I want to fiddle with it as little as possible, right? So I think I don't remember how our car works. Our car has the climate thing. You just like put it on the deal and just leave it alone, right?
Yeah.
But generally, that's what I do. I don't really care. Sometimes I do, like in the winter, I'm like, where is the heat I need?
Oh yeah,
winter. I need what's going on. But like, yeah, I don't mess with it anymore. Like back in the day when I had the old, slider heat thing, right? It's just as long as there was air moving, right? Mm-hmm. It didn't really, because I mean, my old car, like the air conditioner didn't really work, right? Like, so the fan on, right? So, but yeah, now I just leave. I don't mess with it really. I just leave it alone. And every once in a while, I turn on the seat warmer thing. Like in the morning, if it's like really cold, I just turn on the seat warmer deal and then turn it off after a little bit because it gets too hot.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's what I do. So I just had it on auto. And usually whenever you go to heat, the car is automatically going to do two things. It's going to split it. It's going to throw it on the dash, right? So throw it on the windshield defrost, and it's going to throw it to your feet. Mm-hmm. Typically, it very rarely will automatically just blast it in your face.
Ours does that sometimes. Like you have to tell it where you want it to go.
Okay. Megan.
Like it's very much like, no. Where do you want this?
No, none of our cars will let us direct. If it's on auto, it will decide.
Well, I don't know if I have an auto. I don't know if it's on auto then. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, so we have an auto button, and if you press it on auto, that's basically like, car, you decide how fast it blows and where it blows, and I set the temperature.
I don't do that then, because I mess with the fan speed and whether or not the AC is on, or if it's just a fan, or if it's the heat, or if it's, so I don't do the auto.
Oh, okay.
I guess we probably have one, but I don't push it.
Megan hates this feature because she always wants the heat blowing directly on her face. She doesn't want it anywhere else in the car. Right?
That's a very Megan thing to do.
So
right?
I put it on auto. She immediately collects it off, and then our windows fog up. But that's fine. It's a different. That's for another time. So I had it on auto, and I flipped it, and I'm driving, and it was still those time where I was wearing just shorts, and I'm driving down the road, and I notice that the driver's side is blowing cold air, and not just like outside temperature cold air, but like air conditioned air at my feet. Now, I have had this happen before, where in a Jeep that I used to own, I was driving and it was cold, and I didn't let it warm up. And I'm driving, and it started blowing cold air at me through the vents, and then the radiator exploded because the release valve didn't open and do its thing. So I immediately panic and slam on the brakes. I'm like, oh my gosh. But also, my right side of my face is kind of vaguely warm. And I'm like, what is this? So I put my hand on my vents, and they're freezing cold. I reach over to the passenger vent, and it is blazing hot air. And I'm like, like, what is going on? And so I dial my thing, and no matter what temperature I set at, it like if I do cold, it'll blow on the face, and if I do to the hot, it'll blow on the feet and on the windshield. But it's all cold air, and boy howdy. I was like, I don't have time to deal with this. I'm just busy. So it got put off for 2 months. And then when we started getting into like the frost zone, I was like, I really need to do something about this because this is not going to be good this winter if I'm still driving this and it just blows air conditioning at me. And the only way that you can get the car to like the cabin to warm up is basically direct all of the air vents away from you, of your face, turn it off auto, direct it to blow in the air vents, and then crank the passenger side all the way to heat. And then hopefully that would just slowly warm up because meanwhile, the driver's side is blowing air conditioned air. So you're really fighting one another. Now, usually, anyway, so
I figured this is just how Megan has done something, right? So that when you're driving, she can just have heat no matter what time it is, no matter what time of year it is. She's just always blowing heat on her and like, I win. I
didn't want to go down this conspiracy road. However,
I think maybe
I think that we may have to do some more investigations on this. Be that as it may, I went into the research, and man, let me tell you, this is the way I could never be a mechanic because the solutions to this problem were everything from like a $5 part all the way up to like a multi-thousand diagnostic, like replacing the heater core and all this stuff. But every time I Googled my symptoms, the thing that kept coming up would be driver blows hot, passenger blows cold. And I thought, but I have the opposite problem.
Are these all from England?
Right. Chance. Oh, you know what? I didn't actually look, but I do know, at least I believe, that my model of Honda was not sold in the UK. But I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so what I realized was
Japan or Australia.
What I realized was when people were saying blowing hot, they were saying I wanted air conditioning, but it wasn't blowing air AC air, right? They were saying hot air. I'm saying no, it's literally blowing a heater on one side and air conditioning on the other. When I started doing that search of like driver side only blows air conditioning, passenger will blow whatever. That's when I started to get some more things, and so I found that there's two things. I forget the actual name of this, and the guy at O'Reilly's just did what he did actually to me, and I was like, I don't know. Do you know the part of which I speak? I don't care
just give me the part number. I don't know.
I watched a video on how to do this. I need this part right now. It's like a driver side heat door actuator or something random like that. I don't remember what it is. It basically is this swivel that will open one and shut the other as it needs the heat or the air conditioning, right? Because basically those are technically running at all times, especially the heat, right? It's just going to draw that in.
It's where you're diverting it to.
Exactly. And so that thing was like, look at this. So I had to like dismantle the underside of the dash. I was crawling in here, and let me tell you, I had Noah was like all about this. Like,
I bet. Yeah, like
this was the coolest thing that we have ever done in his mind. Like, there is nothing will beat this for a very long time. Like, he went, and especially when there's this support beam that cuts across the steering column, and it cuts so close to the nut that I needed that you could not get a full-sized screwdriver in between there. And so the guy was like, oh, well, all you have to do is remove this support beam, get a full-size screwdriver in there, and you'll be fine. Well, even using my impact driver, I could not get this thing to loosen. And then I thought,
Yowzer.
Maybe been there for 20
removing support beams.
And it's been there for 20 years. Who knows how much this is supporting right now? I need to leave this there. So I left it in there.
Doesn't feel like moving.
And Noah went and grabbed his own toolbox because he has his own little toolbox that we've put together. Mm-hmm. And in there is the short, little, stubby, fat.
Phillips head.
Okay.
Yeah, the one's the handle. It's like 1 inch long or something.
Exactly. Exactly. And he came down. He was like, "What about this, Dad?" And I was like, "You, sir, You get a gold star.
Genius.
Genius. And it worked. It stinking worked. Got it out there. And it was cool to show him like, here I'm changing the temperature and this arm is supposed to move and it's not. And so we got the new part, plugged it in, and then I could change the temperature and he could see that arm move. Like, see, this is controlling it. And then we got it hooked up and positioned and on the dampers. And so I could show him how it was opening one while simultaneously while closing another, see all the different positions it had. It was a lot of fun. And I literally got it installed. And then 3 days later, we were like, yeah, it's 31 degrees in the morning. And I was like, this is wonderful. Good timing, me.
Perfect.
We did it. So, yeah, so it was a lot of fun. That was our big project this week, was getting, I guess technically it was like it was Saturday. It was this past Saturday, actually. Yeah. So that was our big Saturday project. Got up taken care of.
Well, Sunday, I had a small project. I had to replace the headlight. So that was nowhere near exciting. But like,
you say that, but
my car, it's not a problem, right? I have done it on other cars before. So we did it on a car before, one of the old cars we had, and I had to like remove the entire front end of the car to change a headlight. And it was the most annoying thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. But so I know, like, say what you want to about Chrysler and their weird knob shifty thing. This is the best headlight solution I've ever seen. Right?
Okay.
All you do, right? You turn the steering wheel to the side, right? You point it like away from where you're going. So I was changing the driver's headlights, so I just cranked the steering wheel to the right. In the wheel well, there's a panel that pops off, and then you just stick your hand forward from the wheel well, and you encounter a sealed compartment. Right? It's like this big pressure seal thing. Give it the old quarter turn, and it pops off, and you stick your hand in there, and that's the headlight bulb.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you just like reach your arm way up in there and unscrew it, and it pops out. You can pull the bulb out, and then you can pull it all the way out, unclip the bulb, clip it back in there, and then just stick it all the way back up in there and turn it.
Well, that's ridiculous.
It locks back
easy.
In. It's great.
That's annoying.
It's the best thing ever. Right? I'll give props here. This is so well designed because, right, there are big tabs on the side of the thing that you're putting into, that you're slotting it in. So the mount that the light is on, there's these big tabs. So you can feel, because you can't see anything. There's no way you could see anything, right? It's impossible. But you can definitely feel, okay, there's one long tab here on this bracket. When I feel around the opening, there is one space for one long tab. All you have to do is just, by feel, you can very quickly line it up and then just quarter turn, bam, locked in.
Okay. That's very smart engineering.
It's very good engineering.
Making it so that they're like, okay, the one thing you need to put this in is your sight. But what if you don't have that? Or what if you can't have that here?
Yeah. So there's like 3 tabs, right? And one of them is like really long. So it's very clear. Oh, you just lay it in like that, and then it clicks in. And the little screw thing that like seals it is the same way. There's just like one area, one part of it's like a round thing with ribbing on it so you can hold it. And then there's like a tab off the side. And when you feel in there, the whole thing is smooth around the edge, except for one area. There's a flat spot, which is where that tab goes. And then it just, blam. And then you can just pull the flap under the wheel well and like turn the little plastic thing that is impossible to find anything to fit in there. Because it's like one of those like plastic deals. It's like really wide. So you can't use a screwdriver. So I used a picture mounting bracket that I had. I just stuck it in there and just like wrenched it sideways. Like, yeah, there you go.
It's wonderful finding non-traditional items to solve
I don't know
problems.
what you're supposed to use for this thing because, like, again, it's plastic and it's pretty wide, but it's also like over half an inch in diameter. So, like, what you keep a screwdriver in there, that's going to just like eat the plastic up. So you need something that's like really long, but also really thin and flat. Picture mounting bracket. Boom. The other option was razor blade, and I figured, that's probably not the best plan. So I'm going to use. Because it means I would have to hold the blade of the razor blade because the back end would fit into the thing better. And I thought, probably shouldn't do that. That would probably be bad. It ended up cutting my finger somehow anyway, even though I did. So whatever. But like,
well, that's no fun.
Yeah, but it's all right. So that was a much less exciting car project. But it was made faster. This is the best designed headlight system I've ever seen. Right, except for like my super old car that you could just you just literally just popped it out and okay there.
Well, but there was enough room there. You could have. It wasn't just popping it out. It was like
there's 8 feet of hood in the car, so it didn't matter.
You could lay down a cot in there and then roll over in your sling, in your suspended sling and go, I'll just take care of this real quick after my nap.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Pretty much. I felt when I changed the thermostat in that car too. Just like sit inside the engine. Just like, boop. All right, there you go. Got it.
Yes. Well, and that was helpful too, because when I was able to get Noah using the screwdriver on a couple other pieces and removing these panels, and of course underneath that, all of a sudden you see all of the wires tucked in and hidden. And again, this car that we're working on is 20 years old, so it's even more insane with more modern cars. And he actually said, I didn't know there'd be this many wires under here. I said, yeah, they're controlling all sorts of things that
wait till you pull up the carpet in the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Or all the cable and the bundles that run along, the main pillars.
The door jams. Yeah.
Door and that stuff. And they're like, that's insane. And of course, right in the driver's side, like that's and we're working right next to the center console too. So that's where the brain and the computer and stuff is to control the hybrid system and everything like that. So like lots going on. And he was like, I had no idea there'd be this many wires. Yeah. So be careful and only touch this one, please.
Yeah.
It's just a blast. Our back door has always been a little weird to open and shut, and you've always had to give it like a little bit of an extra push. Well, also this past weekend, as I had my triumphant victory for my car,
door leveling. Here we go.
Yes. Well, the problem here is that this door, when we moved in, it was like kind of okay, but as it's been shut and open and shut and open and shut and open, and as I have railed against the universe about door slamming doors, because of course, as the door gets harder to shut, what are people's natural tendencies? Well, I'll just shut the door harder.
Yeah.
But no. Makes the door harder to shut. So you have to shut the door harder. And what I've finally cut to the end of the story, what I finally realized is what was happening is the door was becoming unlevel. But to make matters worse, on the underside, so when you shut the door, on the underside of it was actually like 3 strips of rubber that were kind of like windshield wiper width that were meant to seal the bottom against the door, against the threshold. Those had been slowly kind of like tearing and ripping and whatever. And then this accelerated, and the bottom lip of this plastic thing was then catching on the threshold. And so as it was catching on the threshold, what you were actually pushing against was this piece of rubber being bent backwards as it scraped across the threshold. But it wasn't just a little piece of rubber. It was a big, thick piece of rubber, like hard plastic. And what this was doing was actually pulling the threshold up and raising the threshold up. So that as you pushed it, it just slammed into that. And I have worked on leveling the door. I have tried to level the door. It needs a lot more work than what I can do. And so I said, how much can a door cost?
I don't think you want to know the answer to that question.
How much can a door cost? Right? Like, there's a door I want. And Megan, I was like, what would we get? And Megan was like, well, I want this door. And I was like, I want this door too. When you're describing your stuff to a salesperson and their eyebrows go up when you say words, this means that it is very costly.
Yes.
Because what I have learned is that thankfully, thank God, finally, we have a standard sized something in this house, because that's not something I've ever encountered before. It's like, oh, you need a new window thing. Oh, you have a weird custom window that was designed 17 years ago and nobody's ever made it since. Or like, oh, you've got this weird anyway, nothing is standard in this house because we're all like, oh, we'll fix it. We'll make it work. Well, I have a standard door in the back. But when the lady said the word full light, and she was like, oh, it's a full light door. And I went, yes. And she went, well, okay. Because it's basically like top
what does
to bottom
mean?
window in our door.
Oh, okay.
It's a top to bottom window in our door.
All right.
And I said, oh, and she goes, okay, well, we don't have any of those here in the store. And I was like, oh, that's also a bad sign. Like, oh no. And I said, she goes, is there anything else that you want that your door has? I was like, oh, well, inside the window are these like little blind thingies. And she goes, oh, ODL. And I went, oh, sure. They're just little blind thingies. And she goes, okay. Yeah, I definitely don't have anything like that in the store. I was like, oh no. And then we're just trying to get a ballpark. I've never bought a door before. Like, I've never bought one. Weirdly, 5 years ago, we entered into a contest and we won a door.
You did?
They were giving away something and we entered it randomly. And you'd have to talk to Megan about this, but it was from a hardware store like an hour and a half away, and her aunt brought us this door and it sat in our garage for a really long time. And then at the time, our neighbor who was in construction bought it from us. It was so weird.
Right, whatever,
Anyway, we were like, no, so just ballpark, because I've never bought just a door before. How much would something like this run? She was like, well, I mean, I've seen them go up to like $5,000-$6,000. So, but you'd have to talk with the salesman. And I was like, oh, I didn't want that. What? Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. Okay, that's nuts. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Now, it turns out that's for like
big, crazy,
like big double doors with like the side window, peak windows or whatever they're called on them on the side, and like they're made out of
the whole door, like the system with the okay,
not just like
the whole entry, right? Not just the actual
entry.
Door.
Yes, and that's where this that's where this comes in of if we have a threshold, if we've got a frame and it's off the frame, how much do we try to jerk around with a door that needs replaced, but it's in the frame? So we were like, well, I don't know. So the guy came out and he looked at it and he was like, so tell me, like, do you want it color matched or like you want? And Megan, it was the easiest thing because we were just like, see that door right there? We want that. Like,
yeah.
He kept asking questions and I'd go, I don't know. Does that door have it? And oh no. And I was like, then no, I don't want it. I want literally that door.
Yeah. I just find me something that looks like this to put in there.
That one. And it was, like, I don't know how to tell you this any other way. Literally that door. What? Oh, do you want? No, that. So
like, my guy,
Yeah, like you're not really not understanding. He's like, well, what prompted you to want to get a new door? Are you doing a redesign? I was like, no,
this one's
it's broken.
Yeah,
I want a new one.
It's broken.
Broken, and I want a new one. And when I say new one, I want that one, but working. Can we do that? Like,
yeah, I want.
That one's kind of beyond repair. Oh my gosh, I don't. And I understand. Like he's got to go through. He's got to pitch and he's got to stuff. But I was just like, oh my gosh. So he went through, and it's not $5,000, but it's
That's good.
It's not a price that I was like, oh, that makes me happy, right? It makes me happy to hear that price.
No,
but yeah, so I was like, well, we're not in a super big rush because it does kind of work now. So we'll have to think about. Also, I'm not really interested in getting into a big project like this going into winter because I was like, what's the lead time? He's like, well, the door is like at least 30 days out. And then once it comes in, and this is the whole, it's called what is it called? Like a cast, something case. It's the whole thing. It's the whole frame and everything that inserts into the wall.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just the thing that the door hinges. It's the door frame and the trimming and stuff. Like it's all of that. And he's like, well, and then once the door comes in, that's 30 days out from whenever we order it. And then they're scheduling like 2 or 3 weeks out from that. And I'm looking at my head, I'm like, well, that's Christmas. Like what are we talking? Like
that's weird.
Yeah.
Like you order these doors directly from the factory. Like, yo, make this door. Like what the That's wild.
Yep. And I was like, I think we've got to try and make this last until spring because I'm not interested in having a gaping hole in my house for any stretch of time.
Yeah.
And he assured me that, well, no. They prep and they do so that you can just slot it in and reseal and trim and you'll be fine. And in my head, I'm going, it's never fine.
It never is fine, right? No construction project ever is like, yes, on time, on target. Like that's not a thing.
Let alone when you're opening up a hole in a 100-year-old home. Like this is the words "it'll be fine" have never been uttered. Have never been fulfilled in anything done with this home. Like everything is always very complicated with it because it's always normally right. Like, but in a 100-year-old home, anything, I don't know. And like, oh, right, I forgot. Like, yes, it's for whatever reason. So I'm like, yeah, you say it's going to take, they can get it all done in a day once they start to finish. But I don't believe you. But like, what if they don't? Like, so anyway, and it turns out we use our back door like way more than our front door, like way more. So that's a kind of adding insult to injury through this entire process.
Yeah, and being that you just probably use it more now than you were because now you have another dog, so it's even more backdoor usage. A little so you gotta go
dog that needs to go out all the time.
Yeah, right. Like so, that does not sound very appealing at all. The door saga sounds awful. So I'm.
Yeah. So we've won some with heat in the car. We've lost some with a door
hole in the house. But it's all right.
That's what we're doing. Yep.
Not too bad. Well, the door thing is kind of annoying, but if it can be put off till later, that's good. It's fine. It's not like urgent door surgery needs to happen, right? Like that's good.
Sure gonna try.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah. Oh, we did survive our big weekend of driving around, by the way. Did manage that, right? Going to all the events, right, and everything. So this week, tomorrow, literally nothing. So boom, there we go.
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing. So
that's gonna feel good.
It is going to feel good because it was a little bit hectic last night. Like, it was a lot hectic. I'm not going to lie to you. So
good.
Oh, man. But we made it somehow, some way. We did it. And we came through, even though we had to drive all over everywhere. Middle of nowhere. Literally the middle of nowhere. And so that was great. The problem, again, the Southern Missouri problem reared its ugly head because we had to get to like this one place in Arkansas, and there's like not a road that goes there.
Oh, I hate that.
Right? So we had to like go way over here, and then like getting from here to like south of Branson is so annoyingly impossible. Not to mention there's a big old lake right in the way, so you just can't go. Right? You have to go like some weird way and then down this way, some like the world's curviest road where somebody's driving 40 miles an hour forever. Like it's just but we did.
It is really bad.
Yeah. So it was really, the driving was not wonderful, but we did it. It was good times. We got a lot of things done, but man, I'm tired of peopling. I was like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I cannot, I cannot actually function. So much social battery.
Yeah, because you did all, because you had the two weddings in the quinceañera, right?
Yeah. So the first wedding, it was like a reception-y thing, but it was like all day long. So we only were there for like a little while in the early afternoon. We just stopped by. We saw the bride and her family. And then that was kind of it. They were going to, do some stuff, but we were like, listen, we got a long way to drive, so we're going to have to bounce. So we did get to see them, hang out for a little bit, nothing crazy. And then we went to, so it was like a reception thing. And then we drove to Arkansas to we watched the wedding ceremony.
Oh, okay.
And then stayed and talked just for like a little bit to some people. And then we drove back and went to Quince time. So yeah, it was a long.
Stayed hydrated, hopefully.
Yes, did. Long way. But it's all right. So it was pretty good. Got back to the Quince for the thing, and we did. There was like the ones those ones are a little bit different. Like it's because it's a Guatemalan one, and this like particular church, they have like a big long church service that's involved with it. So we missed part of the church service. So yeah, it's all right. And then we got to see everybody. We ate and we like hung out and stuff, and then we went home. So we didn't get home till like 10:30.
Oh my gosh. That's a long day.
It was a long day, but it was all right. So, but yeah, it was long. So it was fun. It was worth it to see other people, but still, the next day I was like, no, not moving. I'm staying right here.
Very, very tired.
I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah. No, thank you.
But we did survive somehow, some way. So that's
good.
And I did remember to write my redemption haiku.
Oh, yes.
Since I forgot last week.
Oh, so it's fine.
I did forget because I got excited about other stuff. So got all distracted by the other things. So I do have a haiku here. Why is that there? All right, sorry. I fully intended to, side note here, I was going to put this through, to stay on theme for the last several months, I was going to try to put this through a old English or Middle English translator. Right?
Oh.
It turns out every time I put it into the translator, it gave me like different words, and I was like, I don't think this AI is really up to snuff here. I'm gonna abandon this plan.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It kept giving me like different phrases or different spellings, and I know that Middle English did not have like standardized spelling.
Yes,
but I was still like,
maybe not.
No, maybe not. And it was annoying because it also kept giving me different syllable lengths for words. And so I thought, this will never do when I have to. When I can only have a certain number of syllables. This will not.
Only have.
Yeah. I only have 17. Okay. I have very, very limited space. So I do have a redemption haiku, right?
Sure.
So here you go. The fallen lay strewn. Sentinels silently stand. Mourning loss of kin.
Ooh.
Bang.
That's it. I like that's.
You go. I was trying to combine. I was thinking about like epic medieval poetry, and also like I was equating. Right, we give the game away here. That was good. I was thinking about that. Right, like knights, stoic, Connecticut Yankee, King Arthur's court, plus falling leaves. Right,
falling.
Doubles of meanings. Look at there.
I like it. Yes, double meanings.
There you go.
I like that. Oh, very good.
All right.
Oh, and right before we leave, happy 5-year anniversary, by the way.
Oh, really? Wow.
October 15th, 2019.
Oh my goodness.
When the madness officially began. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There we go.
How about them apples?
I was not expecting them apples. That's good.
No.
Some nice surprise apples.
Yeah. So,
dang, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 years.
Wowzer.
All there. So congratulations.
Good job on remembering this time. That's good too. Nicely done.
I've been staring at it for like a week on my calendar. I've just been like, must not forget. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say something.
Going to say it. There you go. That's why your scammer knew that you need to optimize today. That's why.
Exactly. He knew. He's like, man, these guys 5 years. Come on, step it up, bro. Step it up. Oh my gosh, I love those emails. I'd live for those. Oh well, I'm gonna see if I have some more emails to respond to.
All right.
I'm going to go double check my internet too. I don't know what's going on. I'm very concerned. But
it held out the rest of the time here, so
did just fine.
That's good
for some reason. So,
yeah, that's weird. Maybe just the old reset.
It's the scared part. I thought I was going to turn it off forever.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay. Well, until next time.
Until next time.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.